Sometimes the biggest problems come from the people you trust the most, and sometimes those people are the ones you let into your home. This is the story of how one short-term rental guest booked through Airbnb, also known as IRBNB, turned my quiet property in the suburbs into a place I barely recognized. It started as a simple booking, a weekend stay, a straightforward agreement. But within hours, it was clear something was wrong. And by the time it ended, I wasn't just dealing with a mess. I was dealing with a full-blown crisis. This is what happened and why it matters. I've been hosting my home on Airbnb for about 2 years. Nothing unusual. Mostly families, business travelers, and tourists passing through the area. My rules are simple. No parties. No extra guests, no smoking, and respect the space. Up until this moment, everything had gone smoothly. I had good reviews, reliable guests, and a routine that worked. So when a man named Daniel booked a 3-night stay, I didn't think twice. His profile looked clean. He had a couple of positive reviews, and he sent a polite message saying he was coming for a quiet weekend to reset. Everything seemed normal, and I trusted the system. The platform verifies identifications, it tracks communication, it gives host tools for protection. So I approved the booking and prepared the home just like I always do. What I didn't know then was that this stay would test every boundary I had as a host. Daniel checked in on a Friday afternoon. I sent him the usual welcome message. He didn't reply. Not unusual, but noticeable. Around 9 p.m., my phone lit up. It was a noise alert from my smart security device. Not a camera inside the home, just an external noise monitor I use to comply with short-term rental regulations. The reading was high, too high for one person. I messaged him, "Everything okay? Just a reminder about the no-party rule." Still no response. At this point, I wasn't suspicious, just alert. But then the neighbors called. They said cars were pulling up. Multiple people, loud music, flashing lights inside the house. This wasn't a quiet weekend. It was something else entirely. When I arrived, the street didn't look like a rental property. It looked like an event space. People were going in and out. There were drinks on the porch, trash on the ground, and more guests than I could count. I knocked. Someone I didn't recognize opened the door. Definitely not Daniel. Inside, the scene was clear. A full party. Dozens of people, music, crowded rooms. And the rental rule sheet I left on the table sitting untouched. Daniel eventually came forward. He looked calm, almost too calm. He said it was just a small gathering, but it wasn't small. And it wasn't permitted. I told him the booking was canceled immediately. He needed to end the event, and everyone needed to leave. He pushed back. He said he paid. He said he had a right to be there. But the policies were clear. No parties. No unauthorized guests. Immediate cancellation. After several warnings, people started leaving. Slowly, reluctantly, and not without tension. When the final person walked out, I thought the worst part was over. I was wrong. The next morning, I returned with fresh eyes and a cautious mindset. What I found was overwhelming. The living room furniture was stained. A lamp was broken. The hallway wall had a dent as if something heavy hit it. The kitchen had bottles everywhere. There were spills on the carpet. The bathroom sink was cracked. And cigarette odor was strong throughout the house. It didn't look like a home. It looked like a space left behind without any responsibility. I documented everything. Photos, videos, timestamped notes. Then I contacted Airbnb support. To their credit, the support representative responded quickly. They walked me through the host guarantee policy, which is their program designed to help with certain types of damages. But the process wasn't simple. They needed proof, receipts, repairs, professional estimates. and a clear timeline of events. I submitted everything, every detail, every cost. The cleanup alone took 2 days. The repairs took a week. The bill was higher than I expected. Eventually, Airbnb approved part of the claim. Not everything, but enough to cover the major repairs. Even then, I was left with a sense of unease, because the real issue wasn't the money. It was the trust. Short-term rentals depend on trust. Trust between the host and the guest. Trust between the host and the platform. And trust between the property and the community around it. When that trust breaks, everything changes. For hosts, situations like this create stress. Not just financial, but emotional. Because your home is personal. For neighbors, events like this disturb the peace. They affect safety. They affect comfort. For the platform, situations like this highlight the need for stronger verification systems, better communication, better filters for high-risk bookings, and more support for the people opening their homes. This experience showed me something important. Even with good policies, good guests, and good intentions, one booking can change everything. And it reminded me that being a host isn't just about earning income. It's about setting clear boundaries, protecting your space, and knowing when to act fast. Looking back now, I still believe hosting can be positive. Most guests are respectful, most stays are smooth, and the platform does offer tools to help, but this story is a reminder for every host and anyone considering renting their home. Always screen carefully, always communicate clearly, and always trust your instincts when something feels off. Because sometimes a booking is more than a booking. Sometimes it's a situation waiting to unfold. And sometimes, as in my case, a single guest can turn your home into a place you barely recognize. But with preparation, documentation, and quick action, you can take back control. You can restore the space that matters most. This was my experience. This was the reality. And this is why it's important to stay aware, no matter how routine hosting may feel.